Hey guys, Penny here from Monaco Nail Academy, and over the next few minutes I'm going to be doing Lily's nails. I did the backfill on these on a Watch Me Work on our podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I did put in the notes of that video that I would do the backfill on one episode and then the art on the next. But here we are, because it turned out that I like these better for this. So I am using a wide range of colors to do different colors on every nail. This is the second coat going on now, and we're going to sugar. So this is sugaring powder. So freaking fun. You can sugar, and I have sugared in previous videos with acrylic powder, but this is a sugar powder I got from NZ Nail Academy that is full of sparkles. So obviously I'm using that. You can actually sugar with straight glitter too. Basically what you do when you're sugaring is you paint your first coat of the color, and then you're going to paint the second coat, but before you cure it, you're going to add your sugaring medium, be that acrylic powder, and white acrylic powders will make it more pastel colored, clear acrylic powders won't, so on and so forth, or your glitter, or this sugaring medium that's been made specially, which I'm assuming is a combo of both, some sort of acrylic adjacent powder and sparkles. The sparkles are really pretty. They do show up kind of green on some bases, but in general, they work pretty good on all colors. So now I'm doing a time lapse of it because you don't need to watch it over and over again, but I am working one hand to the other, just getting the sugar powder in and curing, because the sugaring powder is heavy, like not, but it kind of is. And so you don't want to leave it on every single nail and have the heaviness of the sugaring powder cause a flood. So I just worked back and forward. And you will have maybe noticed that I left two nails naked. That's for the art that we're going to do. And so let's get some colors out. These aren't necessarily the colors I used for the bases. Some are, some aren't. But I was just trying to match the colors for the rainbow nail. One thing I did learn doing these nails, because as we're aware, unless it's your first time here, this channel is just me working out everything I don't know and realizing how I would have done things after I already did them. But one thing I realized as we finished these nails, the original work that I was taking inspiration from, the colors in the neon lips and in the rainbow are exactly the same, whereas I used gel polish for the neon rainbow, you know what I mean, and pigments for the lips. They're similar, but they're not exact, and it does impact how tight the design is. I'm working here with the mini striper from Artistic, and with this particular green, it's quite thin compared to a lot of the Artistic gel polishes, and what I ended up doing is kind of flooding my own blue. So coming back in, I just went over the blue to sharpen and sort of thicken that line up a little bit. Because the green has been cured, and I was flash curing, so basically just baking the edge of the line. Each color went in for 5 to 10 seconds just to stop it like self-leveling and affecting the colors next to it. So anyways, I did the blue again, but it meant that I was able to still also go in with the yellow because the green is cured. It wasn't going to mix all together, and the blue and the yellow, being the two raw colors, were divided by the cured green. So I was able to multitask a little bit. So while you're watching me time-lapse getting all of the lines in for this rainbow, why not hit the thumbs up button for me? Please, because as you may be aware, I've given myself until the end of 2024 to reinvigorate our YouTube channel and see it make a difference for our business. And one thing that really helps is the visibility that you can create by hitting thumbs up or even commenting. Now I'm going over this nail with a layer of correction gel, which is a thin viscosity builder in a bottle style gel, but it's really good for leveling out things like bumpy rainbows. So I did the correction gel and then glossing gel, curing in between to finish that nail. I just wanted to finish that nail in its entirety before starting the last nail. You've seen me do this in a couple of videos if you've been watching for a while. I will frequently get all of the nails, like all of the sugared nails, done and dusted, top coated, whatever is relevant to that design, and then work on the art nails. And then in the case of these two art nails, get the rainbow done, top coat it, because why not? Let's just protect it. And then come and do this, the more, not tricky, but like more intense nail. So I am just working straight over the top of filed Builder in a Bottle. The Biab is essentially a matte finish. It's not sticky. So I am using Color Gloss in the color Bride to line out the lips, and that, when cured, will be sticky, so I can add my pigments and they will stick to the cured gel polish, to the inhibition layer, but not to the matte surrounding the Builder in a Bottle. If you want to see the actual backfill of these nails, like I said, it was on our podcast. So if you haven't found that yet, we have the Salon Success podcast available on Spotify and where all good podcasts are, including on YouTube. It goes up on Spotify on a Wednesday night New Zealand time and then up onto YouTube 6 days later. So if you want to be the first to hear it, it's on Spotify, and you can also see the Watch Me Work on Spotify as well. You can actually watch the video on there, which, I don't know, I thought that was fancy. I didn't know that that was necessarily like normal, but I guess it is. So anyways, it's the Salon Success podcast, and you can find it everywhere good podcasts are found. And so this is me going in with just a second thin layer of Bride just to get good coverage everywhere I needed it, and then evening out that layer to make sure that I don't have any like uneven areas of the gel. So then we come to neon time, the best part, the most fun part. So I'm using all of the colors from the Neon collection. So Be Creative's the brand, Neon collection. We sell these at Monaco, monaco.ac.nz, or you can find Be Creative distributors, I think, all around the world. But it's one of my favorite pigment collections. You'll see me use it quite a lot, as I'm sure you can tell from the state of the tops of the pigments. But if you really want to know how long pigments last, because I say all the time that they last forever, 1,000,000 years ago, a very, very long time ago, I did a video showing you how to store and display pigments that involved putting Velcro dots on my pigments. Well, these labels are dirty because they're the ones from that video where the Velcro dots came off and left residue, which then got dirty and now the labels look like crap. But there's your proof that the pigments last a really long time, because these are the same pots. So I'm working in rainbow order, blue and pink mixed together to make purple, pink and yellow mixed together to make orange, so on and so forth. And the original picture, it's slightly different on each lip, but the way that I kind of came around the corner, it ended up not being like, you'll see, it's going to kind of end up being slightly matchy-matchy for the top and the bottom lip. Like that yellow, because that's what mixes into green, ends up in the same place, but then orange mixes into yellow. It just kind of all ends up same seas. And that's all right. It's not the end of the world. It's just not what was in the original inspo pack. So my blend here as well is not the smoothest blend I've ever done. These nails just frustrated me. I know I can do better, and that peeved me off. But the thing is, a client would never know. Lily would, because she's a nail tech. She sits next to me every day, but it's okay. So this is me using monomer on my brush to just clean up and tidy up those edges. I always use monomer because it's less harsh on the brush. If you use acetone, it dries your brush out really fast. Same with ISO, but monomer still like cleans up really nicely without dehydrating your brush bristles. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. And then I'm going to go over with matte top coat to protect the pigment to stop it from me messing it up. So to protect the pigment and to give me a surface to then paint on top of. So the artistic matte top coat has an inhibition layer, and after you cure it, you do need to cleanse it, which is what I was just doing. So now we're back to trusty Bride, the Color Gloss White, which I'm going to use to fill in the background here before adding in my detailing. And I'll use this time to tell you that despite the frequency at which I completely balls up the designs I'm doing on this channel, we are actually pretty good educators at Monaco Nail Academy. So you can check out our real full nail tech courses at monaco.ac.nz. We offer in-person courses in New Zealand, and I am trying to convince Nicole to do some in Brisbane because she moved to Aussie. But for sure, in-person is available nationwide in New Zealand. The way it works is that you do some pre-recorded online videos and then your live lessons in person with an educator in their salons. And you can see where they are on our website. Just scroll down the homepage and all of our educators are there in all their glory with their beautiful headshots. And then we also do online training, which means we can take trainees from all around the country, all around the world. And those online trainings do include live lessons. They're just via video where you can see what we're doing, much the same as you can see me now, but I can also see you or whichever educator you're on with, and we can correct your work and help you and mentor you that way. So you can check those courses out at monaco.ac.nz. They start from very, very cheap, 15 New Zealand dollar online modules, all the way up to $4,000 beginner courses and everything in between. So you're watching me line out the lips now using my acrylic paint that I've been using in most recent videos, and still with my mini striper, the brush that I'm using from Artistic. The acrylic paint, I'm just sort of darkening up a little bit with a couple of coats, because if you have watched my most recent videos, honestly, I still haven't taken the time to mix this acrylic paint properly. And if I just took 5 minutes out of my day to just shake it, it'd be fine. But I don't do that. So instead of doing that, I do twice the work on every client because me. But my Cocoist gel in a pot did arrive. I haven't had to play with it yet. Maybe I will this evening because I've got a couple of clients this afternoon. But I'm excited to play with that. And I also just got a brand new camera, phone, but I Googled, I was getting frustrated. They put all the 7 into videos and then I turned them into reels to promote the YouTube videos, and the reels look like absolute balls. They look so bad. By the time that the editing process makes them look like crap. So I researched which phone had the best camera, and Samsung has one specifically made for basically YouTubers. Like you can even film with the front and the back camera at the same time for vlogging and stuff. So I just spent a stupid amount of money on that phone. So once we get through to videos filmed on that phone, hopefully you notice a difference. I took a video of literally just my hand playing with it when it arrived, and like I'm sitting with my hands right now. They're on my body and they do not look as wrinkly as they do in this like super HD camera. It's very confronting. They look like 80-year-old hands in the camera because it's so detailed. Hopefully that translates to nail videos. So now I'm going to line, back to the nail art we're actually doing, I'm going to line in the teeth. So I'm just doing the divisions between each the teeths, to make sure that they're even. Then I'm going to cut across with a straight line, but that's not what we're going to end up with in the design. I'm basically just like spacing it out. So I'm going to put in my straight line. It's straight-ish from the corner of the mouth to the corner of the mouth, and it is a slight curve, but get that in, and then I know where to sort of put the teeth in. Like I would say that's a pretty important step, for me at least, because I know if I didn't do that straight line first, that if I tried to outline each tooth one at a time, it'll end up uneven and it just won't look as good. So marking stuff out like that is really important to me. And you can always end up cleaning it out later. Like in this design, it ends up painted because we've got the shadow of the rest of the mouth. But if it ends up in the way, that's why we do things like cover the pigment in matte top coat before painting. Because that means that if I really screwed things up, I could literally wipe over the entire nail with cleanser and a wipe, and the pigment lips would still be there, and I could just start my line work again. But that is never necessary. You just get like my purple brush and some monomer and just clean up where you have to. But this part here, I probably should have used gel polish because it's not line work. And acrylic paint is not designed for blocks. Those are better left to gel polish, which we're going to transition into right now. This is the color Suspicious. And when I found this inspo pic online, I thought absolutely nothing of the fact that this mouth is drooling glitter. Like I was just like, oh, that's cool. Except that then when I went to like make thumbnails and stuff for this video, I was trying to describe what the nail was and realized, wait, like, that's dribble. It's dribbling glitter. That's fine. Whatever you're into. It's really fun, and it was really fun to do. So I was picking the big pieces of glitter out of the bottle of Suspicious so that I could use them towards the bottom of the drops. Then I'm going to coat everything in correction gel to even it all out. You can see with the lines of light, and now I'm filling it in, that it was a bumpy wee nail because of the extra thickness in the pigment layers where the bride had been, and then you've got the Suspicious, like it wasn't even. So I'm basically treating this as like a builder in a bottle nail and just evening it out. So that was correction gel, that cures, and then I'm doing glossing gel, the finishing top coat, still putting a little bit more where it's still slightly uneven, but not uneven enough to need more correction gel. And then cleaned it, buffed it so it's matte, and I've got my hard gel out with an artistic stylus tool, which I believe is being discontinued, which is sad. I know you can get these things on like AliExpress and stuff, but I love these ones. And so on the finished nail, I'm then adding the hard gel. There are thicker gels that you can use for 3D building. I just don't have one, and this does the trick. But that's why you see my hand, Lily's hand disappearing, because she's flash curing, because this gel isn't thick enough to just sit there like the actual gels designed for 3D art are. But because the nail's already technically top coated, once this is cured, nothing else needs to be done. It's finished. So what I want to know in the comments below is what you would do differently, because I would do a lot of things differently, and I'd love to hear your ideas on how you would achieve this. I'll be back on Tuesday with a new podcast episode and back here again on Saturday. Have a great week, guys. Bye.